debate with perspectives ranging from viewing it as a cherished cultural tradition to criticizing it as a mechanism that perpetuates gender inequality and oppression. Today's discussion, we aim to explore the multifaceted nature of the bride price, examining the cultural significance alongside the criticism it faces in modern society. Welcome to Girls Aloud. And today on Girls Aloud, we are going to be looking at bride price, a cultural tradition, or a tool for oppression. That is what we're going to be looking at today. The issue of bride price. What do you think? Do you think bride price is a cultural tradition, or are you of the school of thought that is a tool of oppression, especially for the female folks? What are your thoughts? Welcome to Girls Aloud. Well, first, it's good for us to understand the bride price is part of our culture. But I know that in some parts of the world, it's actually the women that do, like India, I guess, yeah. The women are the ones that pay the dowry. They call it dowry. The women pay it. But here, it's the man that comes to pay the bride price. But I think that it's not even the bride price most times that people have an issue with. I think what they have an issue with basically are the things that come with the bride price, like the list. Maybe the ones you will give Umwada, the ones you will give Indi Colombia, the ones you will give Umonna, all those lists. Because at the end of the day, how much is the bride price? Some people collect 100 naira,
40
16 naira, 40 naira. So I think mainly because they keep saying bride price because all these things are part of the whole bride price issue. Because if you do not bring those other items, it could be one. So basically, it's not just the bride price. That's one that they do inside the palo and all that. That is the main thing. It's all the other aspects that encompasses the bride price. And now the debate is changing. While some people are team culture, some people are saying it's a form of oppression that tends to keep women subjugated. If you do anyone, I paid your bride price. If you do anyone, I'll take you back to your father's house. Do you know how much I spent? That kind of thing. So that's why we're having this discourse. What do you think? Culture was made for man and not man for the culture. And the good thing about culture is if something is not working for you, or if something is, not giving you what you want, there is always room for improvement. But the big question is, would there be improvement or not? So what do you guys think? We're starting? Ada will start with you because they've already paid your own in food. You're just, I don't understand. Yeah, they paid your own in food. They did not pay half, because if they had paid half, go day here now. Then your people will not allow them to carry you. So they paid your own in food. So basically, what are your own thoughts? You see?
Paid half.
That's it. What do you know? Are you a lady? I'm going to go wish you on
I don't know the possibilities of modifying the traditional paying of bride price. You get, though there are villages that when you get the list, everything but changing or stopping asinamankuzi that bride price get your malonde. Igbo traditions, we know that Anna bride price. I don't know, but in other in the Yoruba and the Hausa, they have their own, the way they do their own stuff for marrying a girl. Do you get? But I don't know the possibility of Esina Amankuzi Gwisi. Why? Imana, you're no longer Igbos. It's not yet your malo in the Igbo. I goes into the Western tradition. I don't know, bro. You guys help me.
Okay, that's your own opinion, right?
Yeah.
Well, I feel bride price, because of our culture, our society, it's something that you must have to pay. But we talk about the least during that period. I think that's the one that is giving us wahala right now. But paying of bride price, I see it as something that you must do, because if you ask me, though, that's my own personal opinion. If you don't do that, it means that I just a and
kidnap,
a kind of kidnapping. So our culture may like that. But another thing I think we need to talk about is the exorbitant price some people they place on that bride price. I heard when we talk about in another climate like India, where it's the woman that paid the dowry. That's a different ballgame. But we are talking about Nigeria and about our culture right here in the southeastern part of the country. I've heard. Even as of last 2 weeks, I saw a video that went viral where some people went to a particular state, I don't want to call names, in the southeastern part of the country. At a point, they got angry. They said that, we're not getting married again, that the money is too much for them to pay. Now, I've experienced that when my brother wanted to get married to a certain girl from a certain community. Then, we went there, they were negotiating like an Azul Senafia. We were there bargaining. They will call like a particular amount that you are going to give them like 500,000, and then you start bargaining with them. They will tell you that their child went to university, that he on a master's degree and all that. So because of that, you are going to pay a certain amount. You know, I think this is where me personally, I would say that when it comes to that kind of arrangement, when we are talking about bride price, I don't fancy that. But from where I'm coming from, in my house, when my sisters got married, the suitors came with a bundle of 1,000 naira notes. That's 1,000. That's 100,000 naira. They placed it on the table. My dad now said, "Okay, let me just collect one note from this. This is to show you that I've accepted you to come and marry my daughter. But at the same time, I'm not selling my daughter. You know, that's it." And same thing with my mom. She just collected one note from it, and that's it. But the most important thing in my own tradition is even if you pay 1 billion and you don't bring it, you know better why. So when you are coming with that one because they feel that that is the bride price, so to say, and that one you must get. So now in my house, we still have the one we see my sisters. So that if any of my brother wants to get married, he will go with that particular guy, because it's not just anyhow a guy. You understand it? So it's something that we need to do because when they symbolize that the family have accepted you to come and take their daughter and live with her, but at the same time they are not selling their daughter to you.
Anyway, I think there is this saying that he who fetched an incense-infested firewood should be ready for the feast of lizards. And ndị Igbo si na atụrụ ga-epu mpi, because naturally a sheep is not supposed to have horns. So when a sheep decides to grow horn, she should be ready for the fight of horns, because every other thing that has horn that spots it must come to test the potency and the competence of the horn. So what I'm trying to say is, in as much as we look at it that it is becoming exorbitant, I even want to even make it clear that even the ladies that are being married, that naturally why bride price was enacted is for the price of the woman being a virgin. So a woman who is not a virgin is not entitled to bride price. Don't get me wrong. You know that traditionally, there are things that are enacted for things, just like Dr. Priska said that the tradition is made for the man and not the man for tradition. So why I'm having issue here is that people tend to come up with this mindset that it is an oppression. It will become an oppression to you the moment you don't know your place or the moment you don't know your worth as a woman. That the man says, I paid your dowry, or I paid your bride price. Okay, bride price, yes. That he will send you home. He don't have that right. Because there are people who are witnesses to that marriage. Bride price. That is when the witnesses have been able to accept, give their consent that their daughter is going to come back. And there are grounds that a woman should come back, not every ground. Okay, those items that we think that are becoming too costly for us, if you check it very well, mgbe meru this traditional whatever, things were not this expensive. And then our fathers then were farmers. They are farmers. I think it's very hard because these days now, all of us are more of capitalists, industrialists. Most of us are not farmers. Then these things they are bringing it for the consent. Because ihe na-emezi these days is because sometimes we want to climb the tree from the top, which is very impossible. You can't climb the tree from the top. You can only climb from the ground. You only come down from the top. So those items that are being given as a part of or one of the things ejeme bride price on the youths gaba. It's just that because these days we tend to do isolation and things like that, we don't want to wash our dirty linens in the public. Ofu onye ada anu wine, and ndị ahụ esi na ha so ga anu the wine onwe ihe ga-eji committee ha si na ọnụ na-eri adigo committed. So if there are things that should make these people know that there is somebody actually somewhere that would rise or get up for this lady or for this young man when some issues arise in their family, these are the things. So a man say mo na ichoro ije ebe a na-ebe akwa ijiri anya gị, what are you going there to do? You don't go for the festival of tears without your eyes. The things are not so exorbitant to me. Mana sị na ife bụ ka o si dịrị onye. And before, the annoying part sometimes is that these men that want to marry our daughters or these daughters that want to get married don't enact proper relationship with the prospective family that will soon be in-laws before coming to get married. With the relationship again your father-in-law or your mother-in-law would be in, that time that these things will be una kpachagi yourself or how you abuse your mouthpiece in the presence of those guys, because in manner out of every 12 there must be Judas. Onye ọbụla chọrọ ịnụ nwanyị kwesịrị ịma na ihe a bụ ibu, and ada emecha ego nwanyị emecha. No matter any man that will say I paid your bride price or whatever in full is a stoic liar. Ada emecha ego nwanyị emecha. Onya na abụ nwanyị nwụọ, ozu nwanyị na-aka agala ọnụ karịa ozu nwoke. Ada emesi ego nwanyị emesi. So nwoke ga-asị gị, I paid your bride price in full, so I have the full right on top of you. The only right he has on you is your labor and your reproductive rights. Obu, every other thing is what you give because you love him. I think this is I'm trying to recollect my brain. God can know what this means.
All right, you said that I'm not going to dispute the fact that all the list, all those the other items that the bride family request from the groom is not part of the bride price. It's actually part of it, because if you look back in the old days, after the main bride price, like my mom would tell me that it's just 5 naira in my side. Then the list that follows, they handle that list with diplomacy. Like there is a level of consideration. But if you come back to our modern society, if you come back to today, you will notice that it is different. Before, when a man wants to marry a woman, he goes with his family, right? And pay the bride price. Now that bride price is a sign of, the symbol of commitment for their union and a respect for the family. Normally we know that to train a child is not easy. It's an investment. So they are kind of, compensating the family for the good work they've done, But now it is no longer that. It's now more like a transaction. The other day I was talking to somebody and the person said that her husband used to tell her, anytime maybe they have a little argument, the husband will tell her that I paid your bride price so I can do to you whatever I like. Because of the transaction. Now most men, they use that as an opportunity to maltreat their wives. Because the list is too, after everything, the family members, the family of the bride gives the groom long list. Aside that, they will still, carry out extravagant ceremonies, feeding cities and communities, all in the name of marriage. And it's the woman that is facing it. So I will still say that bride price is an oppression because most family has made it an oppressive practice instead of cultural tradition. So it is an oppression because most women are suffering. I just saw something on the internet. The lady was crying out for people to advise her. If you see the list of items her family collected from her husband plus 500,000 on top. In fact, if you want to open shop, you need to see it. So it's too much, and it's the woman is the one suffering it. So it's an oppression. People have now, they've shifted from cultural tradition to modern lifestyle, and it's not favorable for the women.
I think the oppression is even in terms of the women.
Women, yeah.
Women are
How
suffering.
the bride price is holding them bondage. Yes, they are.
Yeah. So me.
Well, okay,
Okay,
I'm sorry,
sorry.
but that time, those days of our fathers, I'm sure you can buy a bag of rice for 10 naira, but you cannot these days.
Even if things are expensive.
And again, you also check the kind of women they marry then, and the kind of women they marry now. Do you understand? It does. It really does. Because if you're trying to say,
Because I earlier said that bride price is meant for virgins
Yes.
alone.
Wait.
So she said that. So if you're not a virgin and you're about getting married, so your husband shouldn't even bother paying your bride price.
wait, when I said that, I requested that I should not be getting Okay, let me clarify myself. You know, women are actually the price. And the price of a woman those days is her hymen. Her hymen. Yes.
Okay, go ahead. We are listening.
That was why it looks like a very big taboo when it is noticed that a woman is no longer a virgin. Because I remember in most cultures then, the mother-in-law, the husband's mother, waits at the door for the son to come out with a white hanky that is clothed in blood.
Sorry to cut you short. So what is the price for the man?
Excuse me, I am coming.
Okay.
Yes. She runs around with that, holding then on Zuka Haneji Mobedo. But at some point it turns to powder. Water. By no obara pota. You know, those days it was dark age, all right? And that thing is still holding us till today. It is very, unless let me say, because of civilization and being able to understand yourself, you would say it is even very hard for a woman to tell you that she's not a virgin. And a woman has not been slept with, Asigi, don't allow him get to you because that is your price. I'm sure that is what all of us were told when growing up. Right. Don't allow a man touch you. That's your pride. And that is the price that, in fact, you said about transaction. Why is it called a price? There is only a price tag to something that is transactional. It is a transaction, but there are levels to transaction. Yes, there are levels to transaction. So when I'm transacting something with you, even love is transactional. I give to you because I love you. So if I don't love you, I am not giving you my love. So if I came to your house to come and pluck anything that I like, according to what they call it, and she doesn't come with that coverage, at that point, then it is very wrong. Now, just like she rightly said, Ega Ayoro comes as the whole for the woman that is to be married. In those days, women know they stay there for the haggling of price. But nonetheless, this is modern age.
Okay, I think we have some comments on Facebook. Someone said, Emma Bartholomew, he said, comrades, I think it's a tool of oppression towards men. And the worst part of it is that the issue, women, now women turning to beasts after getting married. And then he said, So on his part, he's saying that the bride price is even is an oppression on the side of the men. Okay. I mean, basically, it's because of what she said. The least you give them, as in during. But someone else, Pantia Ezama, said that the least is not part of bride price. That the bride price is just that money you pay. Mm-hmm. And it's so no, it's not all. It's not all. Oh. Some people will tell you how much they are requiring from you. That their daughter is a master's degree holder or a PhD holder. So because of that, you're going to pay them for training the child to go all through school. So this guy is saying that we should leave all the list items and the list. It's a different thing altogether. But we should focus on the money that is being paid. Yeah, the bride price.
All right. If they are saying that they shouldn't focus on the list, then why are they making the list compulsory?
You know that the truth is that sometimes if they tell you everything that it takes to make a cake, you might say you will not eat the cake. Do you understand? If I don't know if I'm talking too much, but I'm trying to buttress what I think I know. That ego bride price for Anna, do you know you can actually negotiate with the parents of the girl? Since the consent is there, you're married to your wife.
So parents will not agree.
Wait, that is developing relationship between you and the person you want to have a family with. That thing if Anna add, and the ones that will now even go and do extravagant traditional marriages, they are doing it because they think and feel they can. They want to make the public talk, not shame them.
Okay, you've talked enough. Let's another people. We have other panelists. Okay, let them
so
also contribute and tell us what's their mind.
My own is, why do you have to pay for anything? She's not a property. A woman is not a property. That's why when you were saying about virginity and there's a price for it. There's a price for the woman. Why is there not a price for the man? Why do they have to? We're now making it seem like it's a man's word when it's supposed to be equality between the male and the female gender. Anything that is good for Obi is also good for Ada. So if you're telling me that you're coming to my house to pluck a flower and you pay my parents because I kept my virginity, while you were gallivanting, doing the do with God knows who, everything on that skirt, then you're not coming to meet me. So what if I don't have it? You're not going to pay. Then I don't want you to ask my husband because you're not a virgin.
It has always been a man's world.
Yeah, no, that's what society has said. No, we can reform it. You can start from today. You can start from tomorrow. You can speak to people about it, that they should reform this whole idea of paying a price on a woman's head, making her seem like a property when she's equal to her partner. Do you understand?
When you enter the man's house, do you change your surname?
If you don't want, modern days, if you don't want to, you can still keep surname. You can still keep your surname. If I get married tomorrow and I tell my husband I want to keep my surname, it's fine if I want to.
Will you attach his own surname?
No, if I don't want to, then fine and good. If
it's not compulsory.
It depends on you and your partner. If you have that conversation with the person, that's why I say now, while in the modern time there are a whole lot of things that needs to be reformed. We don't have to do things as it were in the olden days. There are just a lot of things that need to change, especially this whole bride price, the listing. Just come and pick your wife and go and do whatever it wants to do. If
there is no bride price, then it's cohabiting.
It's not about cohabiting.
Do you know that bride price is your identity as an Igbo woman?
How is it my identity?
Wait, no. I don't know why. I don't know as a, unless you're going into the Western tradition.
But we were modernized by the West people. We do white wedding. Do we have to pay any?
Some people don't do white wedding. No. Some people don't do white wedding. Exactly. So if you're going to do your traditional marriage, I think you should abide by the traditional stuff. See where the problem comes is when the family themselves decides to add things for their own by themselves. There's this thing that village. No, if you come with the village or a list, I think you have a list in the village or list to local government. Do you get the family? When they abide by just the list of the village, then but where the problem is, maybe the family now modifies the list to attach their own stuff. Oh, you can see go tell your mom, hey, you go to for the mom, go tenka for the father. That's where the problem is. But when the list is like the village, the list everybody in the village pays, like not just the towns in the village. Do you get where everybody pays this particular list? I don't see any issue with that. Do you get? And I'm from Unobi. This is the list in the Nobi Naku. Do you get? So if you're going to do your traditional marriage, I think you should abide by the list in the traditional marriage for the community. That's my own.
Okay, I also believe that everybody should do what works for them. As for me, nobody's coming to, see me as a property, see me as your equal being, see me as we're in partnership with each other. Don't come and carry so that tomorrow you not tell me I paid your bride price, I not pay your bride price in full, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. Because of this money, a lot of women have stayed in marriages that they are not meant to stay in. Ordinarily, they should have left, but they'll start thinking, oh, my father is this, my father does not have the money, how are we going to pay this bride price? Then they stay there and they kill their dream as a person, as a woman. That's just my own.
I don't think when your bride price, we see you lose your identity. I don't think so.
Okay, please let me
You
ask.
Personally, I'm sorry to interrupt. I think we are misunderstanding what bride price is. The question is if bride price is cultural tradition or a tool for oppression. Bride price is cultural tradition. In as much as some persons use it as tool for oppression, it doesn't change what bride price is.
Exactly.
Bride price is cultural tradition. And because it is so, we don't have to say, okay, we are colonized, so we should also start to avoid bride price because we were colonized. No. Culture is belief, is what you are known for. You can't say, no, let's not pay bride price again. And just like we had in the comment section, where someone said the list is not part of the bride price. It is not. Bride price is different from the list. And this can vary depending on the location that you're getting married from, the family you're getting married, the daughter, the people who own the daughter you're getting married to. And when they have a bride price, you have to obey it, unless you don't want to. I also heard when you made mention of someone who went to marry somebody and then they said the list is so much. I don't understand how people get married these days. Don't you know the list will be like that?
No, sometimes you don't know.
It doesn't really.
I have.
No. You don't know.
Let me tell you the truth. I've been there when somebody related to me went to get married. Now, before we went there, they gave us a list. We bought everything on that list. Only for us to get there, they said that the list, the Godiche, that we are now going to bargain.
That's where the problem
That's
is.
the thing. So, I mean, why will you tell me that? You have provided the list. You told me everything. I bought everything. In cartons, in baskets.
You usually go to get, before you go to the family.
I must give you a certain amount of money.
So I think there is no proper communication between the man who is getting married and the family he's getting married to. Because normally you're supposed to know the list before you
like
venture to that journey.
Sometimes they feel that if they tell you everything, you might run away. So
It's better you tell me early so that I run away.
Anything they tell you that because you are there already, you must pay.
Yes, now you have to tell me.
Yes.
Even if I come, if I can't pay, what would happen? Are you going to give me your daughter for free? So if I don't have the money and I am not able to pay, at the long run, I'm going home and I might not come back again because I simply don't have the money. And you also said something about men's world. It is a man's world. There is nothing you can do about it actually. No matter how much you want to try. No matter how much you want to try, it's a man's world and you have to just live by it. I mean, you can only try to, not make it get worse, but it's a man's world.
It's not, see, I always flaunt at people that say it's a man's world.
But it
we are giving them the power. We are
not giving them the power. They own the power already. I don't get it.
People have been calling in forever since we started the program.
They own the power already.
This kind of discussion is what people want to contribute. So after your submission, let's just open the phone lines. At least pick one or two calls before we continue.
Okay, and then for people that are misusing this bride price thing, I think it also, I want to be seeing Amama's face when I'm talking this way. I think it also depends on the family. Why I want to see your faces, I want to mention where you said the woman has to be a virgin before you pay the bride price. And you made mention of using white hanky. I'm in a killing Nollywood movies or former. Because I think this thing you're saying, I don't know, but I don't think my mother experienced that part. I don't know which time in our tradition or in our generation, not our generation, in our tradition, I don't know what time it is that you have to wait with hanky. Also, in a Nigerian movie, can for that thing. You have to wait with hanky, to show that the person is a virgin. Being a virgin is very important. That is why around here, as a woman, if you get raped, you can't even say it. Certain things that you can't say because you are a woman. You have to. Being a virgin is very important. I mean, I think by tradition, it is expected that Onyena married should actually be a virgin. Even as a Christian, you're expected not to get involved, but certain things have changed, you know. Over time, we begin to do certain things that are really not in line. Just like the other day, I saw a video of somebody explaining how you wear a cap and all those things. Now, people just wear cap and face it anyhow. You know, things change. But that part, I've not heard about it of, okay, so I'm on kiss.
I love the fact that you want to see my face. Yes, and actually your face is beautiful this morning.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This morning. Okay. I think this bright price is making you to lose.
Yeah, it's entering my head. Okay, you want to open the phone line?
Yeah, let me just open the phone line.
Okay, maybe when they are done, I will answer.
Maybe they just want to lend their voice to what we are discussing right here. We are talking about bride price, right? You can just call us on our studio line, but be brief with your contribution or a question, anything you want to tell us. Call us on 0706 538 1320 or 0904 956 0826. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Okay.
Hello.
Good afternoon. Go ahead. Speak to us. You have less than 1 minute to talk to us. Okay, you're not ready. All right. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you doing? Tell us your name and your location, and please move away from your radio set.
How
Work they fine?
Oh, yeah, no, I can see people smiling from there. Where Kenneth from Oka, precisely Aroma.
Okay, go ahead, Kenneth.
Yeah, seriously, I'm from Benin State. And this thing that you're this issue you are discussing about has caused a lot of commotion, even in my locality. You see, I have a friend where we went there to go and collect a wreath. So when we reached the place, they gave us a wreath, and on our way back, the guy didn't return to go and continue with the marriage because he sees the wreath and his capacity was not be able to carry the list. So he came back. I think it's better than giving a list to you after you might have prepared. Going on there they will be like, let's negotiate, you need to pay. No, it's not right. So we need to learn. We are not selling out our children to our loved ones. Rather, we are trying to multiply. That is it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wrist. Okay, hello.
Hello?
Hello, good afternoon. Onyeka, Ugagabani.
Okay. Because yes, I can tell you no. Okay, Monday to go married because you know discuss the issue of marriage.
So, okay, this is and then on a studio, they were married.
Because we want a third rock and they go married.
So you don't just stay at your home or your comfort zone, and then on a studio, they were married because.
I already between my Facebook and I watch.
Okay. And then because maybe you know one right now flown to ring for you on Facebook, so you feel that one and I had her married. And then we are journalists, we are communicators. We are communicators, we are journalists. We know a little bit of everything happening, you know, so we have the right to be here to educate you on certain things, okay? So well, that game Marigo defeated. Thank you so much. Hello. Hello?
Hello?
Okay, good afternoon. Go ahead. All right.
I want to put something for you.
Because your voice is very faint. Yes.
Bride price. Igbo tradition. Bride price people all kota achiri ego nwanyị nke nwoke acha weta ego ga-eme n'isi nwanyị ego n'ọbụla oji oge edote ga-etinye n'efere ebunye ụmụnna na-ego anya ọ bụrụ na ozube ewetakwa ọzọ ego otutinye aga na-esi ya top the money until the money after the ozugbo when I get the money, when I also 1,000 naira or 500, we are going to man who go car for Jana had a I will make a no one. Make it on I go wrong one.
abonye ha oya bụ bride price.
Okay.
So I think it's fine ele. Oya ụta ga-eje bride price.
Mana
Ihe ndị ọzọ ewetebụ ife ndị ụmụnna na ndị obodo ga-eri ihe dị na ri.
Okay.
Ọ bụrụ ya bụ bride price.
Okay, so ọ nwere ihe ọzọ nchọ iju gị, ọnwa achụchụ nchọ iju gị maka na ihe anyị na-eneba anya bụ this bride price anyị na-ekwu whether more cultural tradition or tool of oppression. Akwụ ị na-ege m ntị? Okay, now ebe a ga-abụ na di na nwunye ebibe go akwụchago the bride price ebili ka di na nwunye then obele ihe mee nwoke ekunye si nwaanyị na akwụzulu m ụgwọ gị na ọmụnwa nwe gị abụ m onye nwe gị. So at that point, because na ọkwụzulu ụgwọ ya ọ na-agwazi the woman okwu anyhow na-treat anyhow keke isi wee for that part because also na that aspect of oppression anyị na-enebanye anya.
Nne ụfọdụ ihe a bụ nọọ ịma na ada na ya family ya nwoke na nwaanyị na-enwe misunderstanding mana e nwere ndị a na-akpọ ndị akaebe ndị ga-anọdụ mgbe a ga-ekwu ụgwọ nwaanyị ahụ ọ abịa nke nwoke ma nke nwaanyị akọtara onye akaebe ekwe problem dị ebe ya na di ya nọ ọ ndị a ga-abịa doziwe famili a otu ọ dị otu a ga-eji eme ya n'ala Igbo iji na-enwe ike nne na nna ama mmadụ sef ewee dozie ihe a unu dres unu ga-aghọta trai wee tinye ihe a so adịghị ejiri ego anụ nwaanyị n'ala Igbo mana a na-eme ihe
list, yes.
Okay, so we are talking about just bride price, not the list and the matter.
Okay.
We can repeat it. You usually have a problem with the list.
Okay.
But most times don't after the bride price itself.
Okay.
So
you mean the bride price, okay? So you want to add something?
So let me add something. In addition to the already established protocol, we find out that since we are mixing it up with bride price, now we are now clarified that we are talking about solely on the bride price. So you mentioned something. Jennifer mentioned something. Stephanie mentioned something about about property, that women are not property and all that. But I want to tell you that bride price is very important. Okay. Now, when we talk about bride price, what is bride price all about? Bride price is that payment that the prospective husband made to the bride's family. Is very, very important because without the bride price being paid, marriage is not recognized. Yes, just like when a woman, when traditionally is not recognized, just like when a woman go to run to a man that she intends to marry, without the bride price being paid, what they are doing is cohabitation. Exactly. And sometimes in Igbo tradition, whatever thing that comes out of that relationship, probably if people reproduce at the cause of that, that child automatically becomes the girl's the bride's family surname, begins to answer the bride's family surname. So you're going to lose on every side. So that bride price is very important. It doesn't mean that when you pay bride price, it means that you're selling out your child. No. Like we've already seen an Igbo tradition that Ajirega no one. You want to go, but it shows a kind of commitment, okay, to the family, and also the family a kind of respect and honor is a compensation, because automatically this person.
Don't use the word compensation, because I don't even know how much you are talking about that you are saying compensation. Okay. It's just a respect.
Respect. Yeah, okay, let's just stop at respect and honor and appreciation.
So what are you compensating them?
So, and when the bride price is paid, is kind of a ritual that seals the marriage. Yes.
And also bring the two families together.
Yes.
And while we are talking about oppression, if you bear the oppression until with one, like if you're living with a man who did not pay your bride price, you will see insult, you will see oppression in another form.
Thank you.
Paying that bride price gives you value,
yes.
If they don't pay
your
bride price,
I think the question we are going to be asking right now is, when the men, already married men, they use it as an operational tool against their wives. Now, I'm talking about when you are in an abusive marriage, and You leaving the marriage, you can leave, but you cannot remarry. You cannot be in another relationship with any man. And then some men, because they are, should I use the word wicked, or they want you to remain in that marriage, whether you like it or not, whether you are being oppressed, whether you are being violated on a daily basis, they will not want to go and take back that money. What do we do?
I think there are ways around it.
There are ways to return it.
They will return it.
There are ways to return the money.
I think, yeah, you can actually
There are ways
return
to
it.
return the money. If the man decides not to come by himself, that is the essence of the witness. That's the essence of the family members that came with him. And we had a one dozo. You know all these things, we only just go and eat and we don't know what's going on. That biamarana bukoya bonwe ihe meberu. I've married by a chongwafa. You understand? So if the man being wicked, not wanting to liberate the wife, no be only and come marry wife. Eje body ike mmanya n'ihu be ha. Deberi ede nkwụ onya ka eji aṅụ nkwụ ị na-asụ tas na ụfọdụ na-agbazi yogurt na-agba malt na-agba red wine ọ bụ mana ewere nke ahụ eji wee gbaa ga-eje ebe a jee kpụọ ya. The marriage is annulled.
Okay.
But as they say, no more. As they say, no more. Be other like it take back their bride price. Sometimes when you want, yes, I heard that sometimes if the couple probably are having issues in the marriage, and the man will be like, I'm no longer interested in this marriage. Sometimes the bride's family might not want to accept it until the woman gives her own consent.
Yeah, usually the woman will give consent.
So if the woman did not give the consent, we should be waiting for her.
It depends on who is being oppressed.
Okay. And the man will still have to give consent before.
Okay, and also in some culture, regardless of the fact that we should not forget that culture differs, just like Chidera said before now. There are some cultures that place high value on this thing, bride price. Their bride prices are usually very expensive. But what happened is that the essence of them making it expensive, according to their belief, is because it tends to place value on that woman. And if you notice, there is an atom of truth in it. Because you find that if there is a high value in it, according to their belief, because belief differs, it makes the woman, the expenses and everything, it will make him to curtail the way he handles his wife. He will handle the wife.
It's not always the case. But then, before we continue, Ostemeka, on Facebook, Ostemeka said, it is not a tool of oppression. Bride price is negotiable. Dependency of women on their husbands. Women are homemakers and mothers. Majority of women, in the name of feminism, refuse to do their job as homemakers. The world is feminine and masculine energy. Male and female should play their roles.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, no, I don't know. But
I don't understand you this afternoon. Go ahead.
But you know, these energies are complementary. The male cannot exist without the female. And the female can't exist without the male. And when I concord to the truth that the world is the world of men. Now let's look at it. In fact, there is a particular place that all the religion in the world has no conflict, that a man was made first. All the religion, even the way we have contrasting beliefs and doctrines, all the religions, even the one that will stem tomorrow, believes that man came first.
Yes.
But the only one that me will not believe, the only person that should have my loyalty as a person is my husband, not any kind of man. So when you say it's a world of man, family is the first bedrock to every society. So it's actually the world of man. And if a man did not come to seek for your hand in marriage, and you go, you know that in Igbo land, it is
Yeah, I don't understand.
You did not understand. Since you know that it should be a word of man and woman, if you see a man that you love today, just go meet the man, tell him, oh man, I love you. Will you be my husband? Propose.
I'm still lost. Because
Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Please be audible. What's your name? They're not ready to talk to us. Hello? Good afternoon.
This is Obi Oteke from Ghana.
Okay, Obi, welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, if na this aburo ya bụ ego isi nwanyị, then if a na-ekwu na abụ ego isi nwanyị.
Yes.
Ya ka o ji eme nwanyị laa ibe di ha na a na-ajụ akwụsị ya go, ụfọdụ na-akpọ ịkwụsị ya ngo,
yes.
ụfọdụ na-akpọ ịkwụsị ya ego isi nwanyị. Ọ ya ka akpọ bride price, ego isi nwanyị. So ọ nke ma bụ the main thing.
Okay.
So if I want to keep deposit or you know what my means, you got on your you say you go to get advance or to commit to make it a different from being friendship and then you different overall so that the one I JBT legitimate children. That's why the one liability general society also we go use the hour. Obo ya bi 2 naira ka boro ngo emere ni tia ya bi 2 naira. All the ndị be wechi ya nke izizi anwa. Ọnwa ebe nke bụ anwa ojelu. Di ya nke izizi anwa can go to customary court. Je claim nwa ahụ ọmụrụ n'ebe nke bụ anwa ojere. For 2 naira anwa. O mere n'isi a na-akpọ ime ego isi nwanyị ọngụ. A na-ajụ ma 1 million ma 2 naira. Ego ọfụ ya bụ ego anwa dị iche.
Okay.
Millions items. Ma were 2 naira na ego isi nwanyị ego ahụ dị strong. That's around.
All right. So ị na-akọwa na nwa ọbụla amụ n'ime marriage so far na apụlụ ụgwọ isi nwanyị na nwa belongs to the man, right?
Complete now.
Okay, so kezi ihe mee ụfọdụ ụmụ nwoke ji achọ ọlụ ka eje mee DNA ka e wee mara onye mụtalụ nwa ebe ọ bụ na ụmụ niile amụ jiri n'ime the marriage na ha nwa nwee weda mụ ha nwa tụrụ ime nọ n'ọbụrụ.
Ịma nwoke nwunye ya nwụsịrị nwa o jee nle DNA ka e wee mara ma ya n'ime ụmụ ha ọ mụtara. Ebe ekwensu na-ehi ụra ọnwụ ya gbuo m. So the man Amarife
okay.
Because one jikwisabu also ndị mmadụ na-agba ọsọ IDP ọ dị na IDP ya dị ya ndị mmadụ na-agba ọsọ not have rest of mind or still not have rest of mind dị ya na ya chọrọ ya achọ ọ chọrọ igbu onwe ya ebe na-enyo ka m gwago onye na-aga n'ụzọ na-anya n'akụkụ ọbịa n'akụkụ ụzọ ife ọ fụrụ ọwelu ọkamara ịbụrụ iwe stres gara onwe gị
Ọ dị mma.
nwoke a chọrọ igbu onwe ya.
Thank you so much. Daalụ rinne na ya bụ ọmalịcha alụ ịtụnyela anyị. Well, ka anyị na-akwadozi to round off because our time is up. So, Chimoanya.
Before I summarize, I'm on my finance around.
Okay, Simo, even no way from one. And I have 2 answers for you. One is online and one is offline. The one online is this. It's in a forum. Makane noro mgbe eme ya. Eputabe that time.
I've not seen or heard.
Imakunu generation
na Nollywood gan for you.
Nke abro maka Nollywood.
Okay.
If you go home, it's an assignment.
Of course. I am not
ask questions.
Just tell me how you heard it or how you got to know.
No, I should not tell you how I heard it because a thief was taken to the court to be asked why he stole. And the judge left the question and started asking him, how did you jump the fence that was electrically wired? He only came to answer that he's guilty for stealing, not to tell you the rudiments of his job, man.
So you want to give me assignment?
It's an assignment.
So you want to give me assignment to find out how they started using hankies?
Exactly, baby.
Okay. So, Chimoya.
I'm not taking the assignment, by the way.
Okay.
The assignment.
But then I want to say that bride price is an important thing we shouldn't skip for nothing. It's a cultural tradition that we must uphold. Like, we should keep it as long as possible because it gives credibility to the marriage. It gives the woman value somehow. So even if you don't want to do white wedding, make sure now Kologi Sigi.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you so much. I am the time, guys. They are end credits or end speech. But then again, thank you so much. Sorry, we can't pick any of your calls. We've been able to establish that we are talking about, when we are talking about bride price, it's just that not the least and all that. And so because of that, any woman that is, if you are still cohabiting with a man, make sure now for your bride price, and that respect again as a woman. Okay, the program Girls Aloud returns next week, Tuesday, same time, same station. Bye for now.